Hey there, everybody. So, welcome to the first official podcast, The Sport In Laws. I am Coach Pierre,
I'm Cody Bowser.
and we are brother-in-laws. Our wives are sisters, and so that's how we got the chance to meet. And we both love sports, and it all came together as we both write for the same company at Last Words of Sports. So it just came a natural thing of, hey, let's talk about our team and anything we found of interest in. Um, as the Panthers fan, I'm gonna go ahead and get going by saying, "Keep pounding, baby." Hey, take that Bucks. Understand this. I cannot stand the Bucks. So the fact that and I'm gonna say this real quick. Ransom, golly, the guy who cost us the game last week has a wonderful redemption arc and has the game sealing pick. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Glad for that young man, the rookie. He's stepped up all season long, been a heavy hitter in the fact that he was able to not only recover but just show that, hey, I am not only a guy that can get things done, I'm also a playmaker. That was the second interception of the year. And shout out to the D backs as well. And I'm gonna dive into the game real quick, but I just want to give a couple shout outs. The D backs, Mike Jackson, he had to cover. And my threat, as I had previously stated, for the keys to the game for the Panthers was you had to cover Mike Evans. Yes, this is his 12th season. Yes, he's an older player, but he has scored so many times, have always found a way to be crafty against the Panthers. He, fun fact, he's the all-time leader in touchdowns against the Panthers. It is what it is, and
So that's what
obviously,
happened.
and that's what happened. He scored again, but beside that score and a catch, he really did nothing. And I shout out to him because he had the unfortunate challenge of not going against Evans, but also JC Horn is going to go ahead and do his thing. He did a good job covering Buka. He did a good job covering Godwin. He did a good job of covering McMillan. But when Jackson went on and played against Evans, it really showed that Revio's defense is coming together pretty nicely. And as a young player, in a young team, someone has to step up, someone has to be a leader, and he led wonderfully today. Also, as a defensive guy and as a defensive line coach, I'm gonna tell you right now, Derek Brown's a bad man, and I knew he was gonna take advantage of those backup guards, and he did. Tampa Bay was only able to run the football outside. They had to run a couple traps against them. And again, that's why you run trap. You hit that tackle, you hit the interior lineman, you get him off, you get him on skates, and he can finally slide underneath. Couple tosses, couple counters, which made them really effective. And props to them. I mean, it really is. Obviously, they're in the NFL. They play football. They watch film just like everybody else, and that led them to have over 100 yards of team rushing, but Bucky Irving was averaging less than 4 yards a carry. He didn't score. The third running back, Sean Tucker, had to score, and even then, that was a lapse in coverage. J.C. Horn dove underneath, no one's outside. He scores underneath. Um, Overall, on that defense, again, yes, the pick was huge, and um, but here's the thing, Nick Gordon, the rookie, and I'm gonna keep saying, look, notice how again this defense is nothing but young players that don't even know better. They're just out there playing. He only had 4 tackles, but his impact was huge. And watching him, he stood out consistently, and it was a lot of it was just his effort. Um, when Tampa Bay was trying to score, run outside, they cut back. The scoring right there. He cuts it back to J.C. Horn. J.C. Horn wraps it up, so it prevents the touchdown. They can kick to 3, and it keeps the game pretty tight. And all game long, those guys battled. Baker Mayfield, obviously former Carolina quarterback. When we had him, I thought he was washed. And when he went to Tampa Bay, I was like, I mean, good for them, good flyer, and he's done excellent for them. He can see the field. He still has an arm. He is a guy who galvanizes his team, and that that team, they're a hard team, and it sucks that we have to play them again in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But pressure is a privilege. That's something one of my other coaches loves to say is, hey, when you're in the position to have that pressure, that's a privilege because you could be over easily in this league. You could be a two-win team, and we know who what two-win teams are. Ask the Chiefs. Ask the Chiefs right now, where they're not where they want to be. They don't have the pressure. They're just out there playing games and quote unquote having a good time. They're not having a good time. They wish they could be under that pressure. And and once you get when a young team is coming together and they're experiencing that pressure together, it's only going to make them bond a lot tighter. So I'm so proud of that defense. Offensively, um, it always starts with Bryce Young. Beside the Atlanta game, Bryce Young, I have come to the realization that Bryce Young will never be a top five quarterback, and that's okay compared to what the quarterback play we've seen over the last couple of years. We don't need that from him. His stats weren't amazing. He did throw for 2 touchdowns, but his decision making is why he was the number one overall pick. And I've come to accept that. And I'm okay with that. He didn't even throw for 200 yards, but he did complete 21 passes, was able to run for a couple first downs. And when I'm watching that offense as a coach, I was getting a little frustrated because I'm going, okay, you have two running backs who could easily. Rico Dowd has rushed for over 1,000, and Chuba Hubbard can as well. Why are we not leaning more into the running game?
Hmm.
But as the game continued going on, I've noticed that Dave Canales is trying to build Bryce's confidence because this easily could have been a hey, um, lean on the running game. Bryce, you're going to throw no more than 20 attempts, and whatever happens, happens. Take a couple deep shots. Let's keep it safe. Let's not lose the game. But he gave Bryce a couple opportunities to win the game, which is something I didn't even think about. Tampa Bay's defense isn't really what you would think it would be as a
Right.
defensive team. Like for instance, they're pretty poor against the run. Like they are uh I'm sorry, they're pretty poor against the pass. They're only ranked 30th. They're actually pretty good against the run. So I thought this would be a good on good, a strength on strength situation where Carolina's going to have to just handle Via They're going to have to handle those linebackers and just gut out a win, even though this is what Tampa Bay loves to do. And Canals came in and go, no, we're going to take advantage of that porous pass defense and give my young quarterback an opportunity to win the game. And Bryce made a couple throws to where he did win the game. Again, another late game drive for Bryce Young. That's now 12 in his career. Bryce Young, out of 14 wins of his career in the NFL, has 12 game winning drives. Again, he may never be Mr. Patrick Mahomes, Mr. MVP, Mr. All time great quarterback, but there is something in that dude that goes, you know what? When it's time to shine, you give me an opportunity, you give me the horses, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to succeed. Um, my big complaint in which I was frustrated by was that first opening drive, they're running the football pretty well, and then they get down to the red zone. And the big key, I was like, okay, Tampa Bay's horrible down in the red zone. They're only 26. We've got to punch those in and not kick field goals. Immediately, we go for three. And Dow, looking back at that play, should have scored. Uh, he got tripped up by David, and if David doesn't shoestring tackle him, he's gone for an easy seven. And again, maybe the game becomes a blowout, but it doesn't matter. They won, so that's
Yeah.
me nitpicking right now. Overall, I'm just proud of those guys. Turnovers were huge because we didn't give any up, and we took the one. And looking at Tampa Bay's game plan, it seemed as though Baker was not as aggressive as I thought he would be. And I think they played it safe. And I think they were telling either Baker knew or the OC knew that, hey, we can win this game, Baker, if you don't turn the ball over. And something I was so surprised by is Baker Mayfield before this game had thrown 5 interceptions in the last 5 weeks. And
Hmm.
that's been the problem for this team, for the Bucks, is just the turnovers. And Sterling Shepard had mentioned early in the week that that was like the biggest challenge they had, and they know they had to take care of the football against Carolina. Um, and with Carolina not leading, sorry, they're seventh in the league in interceptions. It made sense. Hey, just don't lose us the game, which ironically I think lost them the game. Finally, if you notice those last couple of drives, Baker was just saying, screw it, I'm just going to go for it. That's when they were actually moving the ball really, really well in the passing game. Yeah, they run the football really well at first, but once Carolina settled down and figured out what their gap scheme, what they were trying to do, it gave them, it flipped it out the script to where, okay, Baker, go ahead and save us. And Baker went down, and again, he right, if Baker's able to complete that to Mike Evans, who knows what happens, but just a miscommunication. Mike Evans thinks it's a quarterback scramble. Baker's still trying to throw their initial route on that out, and fortunate for Ransom, he sees it, picks it off, game's over. So I'm just so proud. I'm gonna take it all in. There's a couple other things I'd love to talk about for next week, but um, as a coach, I love seeing this young team. Um, I coach young guys. Obviously, I'm a high school football coach, and I know for young people, just getting the inconsistency is what is just natural because you don't know what you don't know. You don't know, and for this off season, no matter how the season ends, I think for this team to reach another level, they're going to have to bring in a couple guys. Um, I think another experienced pass rusher would be great. Maybe Cherry Hendrickson would be a little bit too much, but maybe a Jalen Phillips could be a guy who's been in the league for 7, 8 years. Been on a couple teams, even though he had right now he's playing for the Eagles. He's a guy who I think could really bring something to this defense. Um, Another guy I'd love to take a look at is Walker over in Seattle. I think Dow's going to be gone. Dow's going to get a good old payday. Somebody, possibly a contender, is going to really take a look at him and go, "Hey, with our line, imagine what he's going to be able to do." And I can't be mad at a guy leaving to get more money, especially a running back
Hmm.
in today's
Yeah.
NFL. Bro, get your money. Sucks for
Yeah.
us, but go get your money. Plus, we already paid Hubbard, so we need a cheaper option to be the number two back. Another reason why I think Walker would be great because he's used to already carrying the ball in sort of a stable with Charbonnet up in Seattle. So I don't think that'd be a hard sell, and especially if Seattle isn't willing to pay him, we could give him an easily,
Yeah.
solid 2 year contract. Take a look. Hey, you and Chuba are gonna be our stable backs, and go ahead and take care of it. So, um, the McMillan, um, I think, he locked up Rookie of the Year.
I
Sorry,
was. So I know.
I know you're a
I was a
Warren
big
guy.
Tyler Warren
I
beginning
know.
of the year, but I with just the last few weeks in
Uh,
general, and when the Panthers started getting hot, that's when I know you wrote that article a few
yep.
weeks back about Chet winning the Rookie of the Year, and I think you're right. Right now, like at the beginning of the year, it was it was Warren and it was
Right.
Ibuka,
Oh,
but
I wouldn't have
it,
exact the first 5 weeks. I wouldn't have written that article
yeah.
if about McMillan, but
But if you
ev-
look at Ibuka today, he only had one reception. Granted,
yep,
it was for
the
40 yards,
right,
but
but
one reception on two targets.
and it's the exact reason why I thought, because once the receivers came back, like once the receivers came back, he just wasn't going to have the same touches like he did early in the year.
Yeah,
And McMillan is still going to be McMillan's the number one receiver. Coker has now become the number two receiver, and Leggett is the three. And I'm going to write an article about Leggett because Leggett is just going to be a giant tease almost a minor version of Kyle Pitts where he has all the athletic ability. He looks great. He's the stereotypical looks like Tarzan, plays like Jane. And
Yeah.
I don't like saying that about dudes, but you can't be 6'3", run a 4.3, but have no awareness of where your feet are to catch a football
Hmm.
like that. I when he caught it, I'm going, yeah, and then that replay, and you see him not even aware of where he's not even dragging his feet. I'm like,
Yeah.
you're an NFL receiver, dude. I know you know how to drag your feet,
And
but
this isn't your rookie year either.
no,
This is what this
bingo,
is. This is year
bingo.
two for him, right?
Year two, year two, and the other year two guy, Coker, is stepping. Again, it wasn't until the near the end of the first half, but he caught that big pass down near the end zone that got him in, and it it was it. I got an article about Leggett coming up,
Hmm.
and I think you know what it's going to be, but
Yeah.
it's yeah. I I got to see more from XL. I gotta see more. And uh he's uh he's Adonai Mitchell for me.
Hey, I'm glad AD Mitchell. I'm glad he's getting his getting his opportunities with
Yeah,
the Jets. Like to me, he was great. I think we're gonna re-sign Pierce.
yeah.
I think we're probably gonna tag him. To be honest with you, but with him, with Pierce, Pittman, and Downs, AD Mitchell, I don't think was ever gonna get that shot in
Hmm.
Indy.
Hmm.
And I'm afraid, like I've told you before, I think the career path of AD Mitchell and Anthony Richardson, they're the same player. They just play different positions. I
Ooh,
think just how things are going. But like I'm glad AD Mitchell is getting his. I liked him. Yeah, he had that the blunder against the Rams where he fumbled the ball out of the end zone. I mean, heck, Jonathan Taylor did the same thing last year. It just
right.
it just seems to be the thing that's happening with the Colts the past 2 years, and I don't know why.
I'm
But
telling
but going back to what you said about like the Panthers trying to play, I'm gonna throw it 20 game, but it's kind to me just kind of looking at it's
you.
almost
Hey,
like that's what
hey, hold on. I can barely hear you. Can you go again? You cut out there. Hello? Hello? Hello, do you hear me? Check, check.
I lost you.
Okay, do you hear me? You don't hear me? Okay. Give me 1 second. What about now? Hello? Check, check. Nothing. Okay. Hmm.
Okay, like you were saying about like with the Panthers, kind of you were thinking they were going to try to take it easy with Bryce, have Bryce throw it 20, just maybe just a little bit over 20 times a game.
Yeah.
It kind of seems like Tampa Bay did that with Baker today. Like
Yep.
Bryce threw it over 30 times,
Yes.
but but Mayfield only threw it 26, and like you said, it didn't really come till the end of the game when he really started, taking the chances. Like, hey, we got to go.
Yeah, it
So
was like
now we're
70.
throwing it.
If I remember right, it's about 70. It was about 72 yards in that fourth quarter. And again,
Mm-hmm.
it was like, hey, we've got to go make a play. I, it really boggled my mind. And part of obviously as a defensive guy, we're just more naturally conservative on the offensive side. Like, hey, don't lose us a game. My defense is going to go ahead and win it. But
Yeah,
that's not the identity of the Bucks. Like with all those weapons on the outside and your tight end, like
yeah,
it they've got to be all gas, no brakes. That's what got them so successful early in the season. With all their late game heroics, it was mainly just because Baker was just going for it. Um,
Yeah.
I Skip Bayless back in the day would always say Baker Mayfield's he's a careful gambler, and it was always like, how's he a careful gambler? But he's going to take chances, and you just got to live with those chances. Like, oh, another quarterback who we're going to play next week is very similar to Sam Darnold, where you just got to ride the roller coaster that is the Sam Darnold experience or the Baker Mayfield experience. Like both those
Yeah.
guys are going to show you highs of highs and they're going to show you lows of lows. Sometimes the drastic in all in one game.
Is
And
he going to be the pumpkin or Cinderella? Which one
right,
is he going to
exactly.
be?
And sometimes he's both in the same game, and you're like, I don't know how we won this, but we did. So yeah, it was great. Like the whole time I'm like, they're taking it easy on Baker. I I thought crossed my mind of like some sort of injury or something, but I looked at the injury report and he wasn't on it all
On
week.
there.
So I don't know. It was crazy to me.
That
Um,
and how many tackles do you think Vita Vea had today?
oh, I don't know. I can look that up though. Let me.
I have the numbers
What?
sitting in front of me.
How many?
0, 0, and that's total and like combined and solo. There's nothing.
Yeah,
So you would have thought that run defense, especially with him up the middle,
yeah.
you would think he's going to get something, but no, he, according to the stats here at the end of the game, he had 0.
That
David was their leading tackler with 10.
yeah. In Via watching the game, he was off on the sideline quite a bit. Like I don't know if I would say the Heat wouldn't have get to him because he's down in Tampa. So I
Yeah,
don't
he's
know.
used to it. You would think.
I don't know. Yeah, that's surprising me. I thought he would at least gotten two. But I think the other thing was Carolina didn't run the football a whole lot to give him the opportunities either. Uh, like I think between the two backs, it was about 15 yards. Sorry, um, 15 attempts, almost 60 yards, but
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't. It, it was really a hey Bryce, you're gonna have to take advantage of this weak passing offense. Uh, the the other reason why I was a little bit shocked was the blitz stuff. Like Bryce is kind of middle of the pack against the blitz, and Todd Bowles blitzed quite a bit.
Yeah.
And he did the thing that I thought he was going to do. Like there's a couple rumors about him possibly losing his job and so on and so forth, which I think is crazy. I mean, the man's won the division the last 3 years. Like you're not always going to win, especially. But that's beside the point. And once that rumor starts happening, you're just going, hey, if I get fired, I'm gonna do the thing that I love to do, which is blitz. And he blitzed quite a bit. I that's why I'm kind of a little bit shocked that uh McMillan didn't have a bigger game, but those corners were pretty physical with him all game long. And I think training camp kind of got him prepped for it. Him being the number one guy, he's kind of seen physical play, so he's used to it. And again, McMillan missed a couple of catches that he probably should have
Mm-hmm.
gotten. And I mean, he's a rookie. At the end of the day, I can't be so hard on a lot of these guys. I mean,
They're young.
they're young. They're young. They'll know better. And I'm gonna keep saying that, but it's so true, so true. So I'm just again proud of these guys. I'm excited for Seattle, 8-7. With a again, if it's gonna be tough. Luckily,
Yeah.
luckily for the Panthers, it's gonna be home. Let me double check.
While you're looking
Yeah,
at
it's
that,
home. It's home. Yeah, it's home. So you get stay Charlotte. You have the West Coast team traveling to the East Coast in an early game. Like the history of West Coast teams traveling across the country and playing an early game isn't very good. So hopefully I can take advantage of it. And Panthers seal the division with a Tampa Bay loss. So
yeah.
I'm uh I'm amped up right now. The the black unis are out.
There's actually, I heard this stat on Friday on Pardon My Take, going back to like the people wanting Todd Bowles fired.
Uh-huh.
So he, as a career like head coach, coming into today, his career win and loss record, he's only 3 games above 500.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just
Oh
the
yeah,
it's just the NFC South effect almost.
yeah, and he was the coach of the Jets for a couple years too. So, and then Sam Darnold was. Yep. Okay, that's all coming back to me now. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's
That's
won the
all.
division the last 3 years. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
three seasons. But yeah, if you look at his overall record, he's only 3 games above the 500 mark.
Man, I forgot about that. No, thank you for reminding me.
Yeah,
Thank you
and
for reminding me.
going back to like Young's, out of his 14 wins, of them have been, game-winning drives. To me, that kind of goes with the Nick Saban effect because
Ooh,
Nick
do
Nick
tell.
Nick Saban, obviously, you can compare who's all been there, Jalen Hurts to Bryce
Mhm.
Young, but Nick Saban's not going to go out and get guys who don't have that kind of grit in them, who's not going to get it done.
Mhm.
When the game's on the line. So
Right.
if Saban knows it's obviously there. Granted, Alabama hasn't didn't lose much, and weren't in many tight games when Saban was there.
Uh-huh.
But he's probably going to go down as the best college football coach ever.
Right.
So he's not going to go out and recruit guys that don't at least have that that aspect to their
Mhm.
game.
Right.
I don't want to say just in case, but if they ever found themselves in that situation, he's not going to throw a guy out there that can't do it. So I think
Bingo.
that kind of translates here in the NFL. It's like, well, we know we have a guy that can bring us back in the last minute of the game or the last
Mhm.
2 minutes of the game because was who he came from. And if he believes in him, then why shouldn't we believe in him too? And
Bingo.
kind of like you said, like on the first episode that you put out, like the Panthers can win with Bryce Young. They
Mhm.
might not win because of Bryce Young.
Mhm.
And honestly, that's kind of just seems when the Panthers kind of put together, that's what's happening. Everybody else is starting to kind of really put it together
Yeah.
around him. It's not Bryce is going out there to try to be Josh Allen or anything like that.
Bingo. Bingo.
Bryce Young's there to play Bryce Young, and
Mhm.
that's what it's going to be.
Mhm. And, like again, I hope to be proven wrong, but the way I look at him is almost an Alex Smith at best for the
Mm-hmm.
Chiefs all those years where it's like there's a clear ceiling, maybe a couple things go right to where or he goes on some sort of an amazing run and hey, maybe the Panthers can win the Super Bowl. But certain things have to almost line up to where it's never going to be, well, they're outgun. Go ahead, Bryce, win us the game. Go
Mm-hmm.
ahead, win us the series championship. Go ahead, do your thing, and that's okay. I mean, there's a reason why there's only five guys. That there's a reason why there's only a top five quarterbacks of all time. You know what I'm saying? Like, not
Yeah.
everybody's going to be an all timer. Not everybody's
No.
going to be, a Hall of Famer. And
Yeah.
as long as you are putting in the work, your teammates love you, your coaches trust you, and you're doing the best of your ability, I'm okay with that. Like, I mean, if we had Patrick Mahomes or Lamar or Josh Allen, my expectations would be different because those
Mm-hmm.
guys are different. I'm just taking it all in because I've watched a lot of bad
Not
football the last couple of years. So
ever
I'm
since Cam Newton,
taking
right?
big.
Cam Newton would probably be the last
Yep,
one, right?
yep. And my expectations were high because when you're 6'6", can run like a deer, strong as heck, like it
Yeah.
you took us to a Super Bowl 15-1. Yeah, I'm expecting a little bit more than what I've
Yeah.
seen from Bryce Young, but that's okay. There's no
Yeah.
slight to him at all. I'm gonna go ahead and just wanted to say that it's keep pounding. I hope those guys are taking it all in. I mean, they Dave can as a coach to Dave Canals watching him, especially press conferences to locker room to on the field stuff. The culture he's doing fits perfectly for that team because this is his second year coaching. A lot of guys on his staff are under the age of 45. Like he's two guys are over the age of 45. Everybody else, they're young. it's like a bunch of babies just coming together and going, "Hey, we're we're in this together, so let's figure it out together." You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying
Yeah,
it's the 91 Cowboys and we're gonna go off in the dynasty, but it's just the fact that I feel like we're building something really strong right now, and I love the fact that our owner hasn't meddled. That's been the
I was
big
gonna
issue.
ask the same
Like
thing.
he's been like he said multiple times, "Hey, I love what we're doing. We're building strong. We're building a good foundation." And I'm like, "Yes, keep going, David. Keep going, Mr. Tepper. Just let it. The, the cookies are baking.
Yeah,
Don't pull the oven down to look at them. Just let it bake. Just let it bake."
yeah.
Oh, all right. So anything that stood out to you this week, in terms of games? I know we know a couple Chiefs fans, and let me tell you,
It's a whole different team out there.
Oh, Patrick Mahomes is literally duct tape for what that offense and for whatever reason the defense too. Like it,
Yeah,
I that's crazy to me. Like they are so different. And I feel bad for Gardner Minshew. I know you got some history with them, and ugh,
solid.
I hate any sort of ACL tear. Any
Yeah,
Mahomes now them. I forgot their third string quarterback. I can't even say his name, but he didn't look that great. But I mean, he's a third stringer that's in his second year. Like he's, I mean, we'll see. But I
yeah.
was impressed.
Uh, like you said, it's looking back. Those MVPs were definitely well deserved
From
for
Mahomes.
for Mahomes.
Oh,
It's like I know everybody talks like you said. We know a few Chiefs fans, and it's always like they're always pushing like the Mahomes effect, the Mahomes
mhm.
effect. After today, it's real.
It
It is real. That
man.
team that team looked like whenever they would tell us like, oh, we sat through the dog days of the Chiefs. That's what it looked like.
Yes, yes. I had a buddy
Like,
that tech I had a buddy that texted me, longtime Chiefs fan. He was like, "Hey, your article is coming to fruition because I got out my old red and gold shirt and felt like it was 2012." I was like, "Oh, oh." I know you got a Roman Cornell isn't there. I promise. All right, keep the bad man away.
it's like the guy that ended up playing Chris Doken, because
Sounds good to me.
that's what, like you said, no disrespect to him or anything, but I really have I
I
never heard of him.
never heard of this dude. So
And it's like maybe coming in, maybe the Chiefs should have gave Matt Castle a call, see if he wanted to come out and see if he
bring
wanted to
bring and
swing around for a little bit.
bring out old quarterbacks that were somehow part of your system and could still throw it. Yeah, that may not have been a bad idea.
Yeah, and
I think for Uncle Phil though, it was I know the jokes are flying, but it's making sense about the insurance. I'm just saying. It's making
I mean, yeah, it's like it's well played, but just
sense.
looking at everything. Granted, Rice didn't play today. I don't know how many people on the deep.
Oh,
I've seen
there
that
were
they had a bunch of inactive, but
so
defensively
many
they didn't
injuries.
play.
So many
But like
injuries.
Pacheco was their entire offense.
Yeah.
It looked like he was their leading rusher and their leading receiver, and he was their leading. Well, Worthy and Pacheco both had 41 yards, but Pacheco had 6 receptions. But that's when you're playing with a third string quarterback coming from someone who has been dealing with that the last 2 weeks. Whenever you
Mhm.
don't have your starter or your main backup, like a guy like Minshew, who we know who can throw it,
Right.
that just your whole offense
It,
changes. You're going to be relying on your running back a lot more. But even at that point, Pacheco only had 8 rushing attempts today too. Like
um,
it was, and even Minshew left the game early, and he was their second leading rusher with 8 yards today as well.
yeah, it's it just looks so different. And
Yeah,
for the Titans, I mean, good for them that you got to win. Cam Ward threw 2 touchdowns. Pollard, I forgot he was on that team and he rushed for over 100. So, like it, I don't know who their coach is going to be, and obviously the rumors of Nagy coming out and possibly being a strong candidate. I wonder if those rumors are now going to go away after that
Uh,
performance, because you would think as an offensive. Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize this. They started the game off with a safety. Oh, I
yeah,
forgot
that
about
was the
that.
first score of the game.
I forgot about that.
Like I looked in I was kind of on and off the game,
Uh-huh.
and I was
Yeah, I was a
reading
little
our right
I was a little
reading our
pre
writers group chat,
uh-huh. Uh-huh.
and Kansas City kicked that field goal, and then when Tennessee ultimately went down and scored a touchdown, they're like, dang, kind of hoping this game would end 3-2 just to see what kind of mess that would stir up. But
Yo,
one thing, kind of going to the Titans coaching thing, I've heard one name get thrown out there, and I don't like it.
oh
I
yeah.
don't like it at all because I think you know who I'm going towards, and it's
Hey,
my defensive coordinator. And
lose
things
a
have just been.
sexy pick, man.
I
He's
know,
a
and
sexy
I
pick.
don't I don't want him. I don't want him to leave because, granted, our defense hasn't been great. It's just been so much better with Lou around, and if he gets the head coaching job, good. Like I'll be happy for him because he deserves it after all the years he put up in Cincinnati, and then having working with what he's had to work with this year and still putting out a competent defense.
And
Like
the
he deserves a shot.
Right. And just the fact that as a as an older coach like him who's never really gotten shine like that, the fact that his name is popping up, because the last couple he was up for another job. Oh my gosh, this was a couple years ago during like the highs of the
Mm-hmm.
Bengals stuff, and I think the report was he turned it down, but
Yeah.
it was. But at the time, like I remember the team, and I was like, "Oh, I wouldn't have gone there." And I wonder if he was also going like, "If I'd leave, it's got to be a good situation." In Tennessee,
Yeah.
I would take that situation. Like, beside Cam, you don't really have a whole lot, but you're going to get a lot of draft capital,
Yeah.
high
And you're
draft
gonna
capital, and lots of free cap space. They have over $100 million in cap space.
you're gonna get the keys to kind of build it however you want.
Yep. Yep.
I think his name was thrown around for the Saints job last year.
There it is. Thank you. Thank you. Yep. Yep. And I'm sure part of it was also just, hey, we don't want to tell everybody we already hired Kellen Moore. So,
Yeah, Kellen Moore was
yeah,
coaching in
Lou
the Super Bowl,
Anarumo.
but
That's who we were looking at.
yeah, Kellen Moore was coaching in the Super Bowl, knowing good and well that he was going to be the head coach of the
Yeah.
Saints this year.
Oh, 1000%. And I can't complain because it was a good decision.
Yeah.
He's the Saints obviously are not a bad team. Like this, watching the Saints the first from earlier the year to now, they've gotten better, and you can tell Shuck for whatever reason is just clicking with that locker room. So it was just frustrating at the time when the Panthers lost last week. And again,
Mm-hmm.
granted, like I mean, there the penalties were crazy, but penalties happened on both sides. So it's not like, oh, we were targeted, so on and so forth. There's
Yeah.
some things where you're going, okay, come on now. But not to go back to that game, I should have gave them more credit because watching back, I was going, no, they schemed it well. They gave Shuck made a couple good throws. They
Mm-hmm.
protected him, and they stopped the Panthers from running the football consistently. Like
Yeah.
that's all you want. Not to mention, I got a buddy that's the running backs coach down there. So I texted him after. I was like, I can't believe you did that to my boys. Like, hey, it's the NFL,
Yeah.
man. It's the NFL. But yeah, I just love that there's been a lot of good coaching lately, and even for some of these bad teams, like the Saints, it, you could tell when a team is well coached, and it's just, hey, we just don't have the talent.
Yeah.
And I'm really hoping that Tennessee can turn around. Not, I know they're in your division, so you're
Yeah.
like, hey, we need those wins.
They can stay there for quite a while, for all I'm concerned. But like,
Oh,
kind of going off the point, like you said, well, coaching. I don't think anybody really knows what's going to happen to Pete Carroll after this year. But just from watching that game today, there was something different. I don't know what it was, but the Raiders kind of came out with a little bit more fire, and it could just be the fire of you've lost 10 games in a row,
Right,
and you
like
need but like you said, they have the coaching, they just don't have the players.
yeah,
And I think that's kind of Vegas's problem. Like Pete Carroll, people can say what they want about him. I always thought he was a good coach with
I
with
agree with you.
with the USD scandals aside,
Mhm.
and whatever happened in New England. But like in Seattle, he was a winning coach in Seattle. He went to
Mhm.
what two Super Bowls
Two
while he
Super
was
Bowls.
there,
Yep.
and won one of them. Uh, I just think if they can just get they need a solution at quarterback. Like
Yeah.
it's Geno Smith, can you pick an Aiden O'Connell? That's
Yeah.
not going to work. But you have your franchise tight end in Brock Bowers. You have your
Mhm.
franchise running back in Genty. You also
Mhm.
got one of the best, if not the best, defensive player in Max Crosby. You
Mhm.
just need to fill in the holes like a supporting cast.
Right.
You need to find something like that. Like I said, the big thing's going to be who's going to come play quarterback for him. I don't know if it's going to be Mendoza coming in next year or
Mhm.
what's going to happen. What Tom Brady and the crew decide to do.
Mhm. And I think Geno Smith isn't being quote unquote isn't being exposed. I just think his uh his physical traits are deteriorating. He is
Yeah,
34, 35 years old. That's the other
yeah.
thing too. Like I think we as a fan base always seem to forget that like what Brady did was an anomaly. What
Mm-hmm.
Favre did was ridiculous. Like most guys are pretty much done, even at quarterback by 34, 35. And
And
then
what Philip Rivers is doing is a
you're not,
Hallmark movie.
right, bingo. Like and more power to him. And
Yeah,
and especially when you're one and again, notice all those guys were all-time greats. Like
yeah.
Geno Smith is not an all-time great. If you're not that
No,
dude, you're
they're not.
yeah. Yeah, you're not going
They're
to
not.
be able to just muster up something to especially for a 17 game season. Like
Yeah,
a lot of guys can go, hey, I can win you 3, 4 games easily in a season.
yeah.
17 to be the starter and I'm getting hit every and not to mention the practice, the meetings, everything that it comes to it to especially play quarterback on a bad team, quarterback on a bad team that can't protect you. I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
that wears and tears on anybody, especially a guy like Gino. And I like Gino. So his character arc from the guy that was in the Jets that like dudes could not stand to a guy that people respect and
Mm-hmm.
Walter Payton candidate has been really cool to see. And I know that he wants to keep playing, but just I think he's done. I
Yeah.
think he's
And
done.
it's like the Raiders were one play away from winning today. It was a one score game. They needed that guy to be able to take them down the field. And
Yeah,
I know
we couldn't do it.
Gino has done it. He did it in Seattle,
Mhm.
but the supporting cast around him in Seattle is way different than what's down in Vegas with him
Mhm.
right now. I
Yeah.
mean, heck, they traded their. I mean, I guess you can say Brock Bowers is their best receiver, even though he's not a receiver.
hmm But I
But
know
like
what you mean. Yeah, he's their best offensive threat. Not
yeah,
because I not that Genty isn't, but I would consider Brock Bowers the equalizer because when you have a good solid tight end, as you know, is a matchup nightmare for
mm,
DBs and the linebackers. So
yeah,
if you use him correctly, he's always going to be open. He's always going to be able to get you what you need to get. Even if he won't break away from a guy, it's just the fact that hey, no matter what happens, oh, we got him.
mm,
He's going to get that first down that we need.
yeah. A
Um,
top five tight end is going to be a top 15 linebacker.
yep.
Almost not. I'd say probably 9 times out of 10.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Trying to think any other games that stood out.
Uh,
The Packers
Denver.
Bears.
Okay,
Oh
yeah,
no,
Packers Bears
no,
too.
no. Sorry,
The
Denver. Let
I
me
think
let's shout out our friend of the program.
what
Uh,
I'm what
oh
I'm
man.
scared of is that Trevor Lawrence has finally figured it out, and that
Yep.
doesn't make me happy because
Oh,
again today three more touchdowns today,
Yes.
and,
Yes.
279 yards. And like Denver's, if top two defense, if
Yep.
not number one behind or I think Houston then kind of be interchangeable. Houston's good all around. Denver's got, lockdown secondary
Hmm.
with, they're probably going to set the sacks record this year. And then, but Trevor Lawrence made him look like Swiss cheese. Like it was weird.
That was the game that I thought vintage Mahomes would have done against the Broncos. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
vintage Mahomes goes to Denver and does
And
almost that exact same stat line where
yeah,
you go, oh, this is nothing. Oh, yeah, your pressure's coming. Oh, so the fact that Lawrence did it, like you said, he might
makes
be
me worried.
figuring it out.
Makes me
Yeah,
worried.
because Duval, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, I heard this, like, after the Colts and Jaguars game a couple weeks ago, they're talking on Pat McAfee. It's like, maybe these coaches do need to come out in their opening press conferences and sound absolutely dumb because it's worked for Dan Campbell and now it seems to be working for Liam Cohen.
Remember Sirianni? Sirianni had a terrible press
Yeah,
conference too. Like he was just
yeah,
mumbling and stumbling. Like, no,
yeah.
you're you might be onto something. Where
At that point,
hey,
because you're looking at him and you're like, what is this guy talking about? Like this can't be good. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh,
oh,
you do know what you're doing.
oh, okay, I get it now. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
I think
gobbledygook.
I think the only one it hasn't worked out for is Jonathan Gannon because he
Oh,
came out. It came out. He goes, "We're going to be firing like lasers," and he does the whole pew pew sound effect in his
got him.
press conference. And the stat came out: the Cardinals can go 17-0 for the next 14 seasons and still be 3 games under 500 as a
Yes,
franchise.
it's like gosh. Yeah, I got a buddy that's a Cardinals fan, and every
Yeah,
week it's just pain,
yeah,
despair, destruction. This is
yeah.
how I live my life. I'm like,
And
yo,
what's crazy about the Cardinals this year is that they had that stretch where they lost like 5 games in a row, and the total was 9 points.
points,
So
yes.
it's like just a few things here and there, and the Cardinals are also a talk with another dominant team from the NFC West, like the other three are.
Like in the Cardinals, I thought I had them, I had them winning this game. So, and I'm kind of kicking myself because you know what I mean. But anyway,
Mm-hmm.
they don't have their starting quarterback. It's all that whole situation's weird.
Weird, weird.
Weird. Like I know, you know what I mean, I'm not even gonna pretend like I know what's going on, but that whole situation is just weird.
Nobody does.
And if you're and your head coach is most likely getting fired at the end of this year, and you just feel like, gosh, 1, 2, 3, Cancun, and that's for your star players, the guys who are just Jags, just guys. They're just trying
Yeah,
to play, but they're Jags. So
yeah.
you're like watching that game, you can see the effort from a major. Like all those guys are going to give effort. No one's out there, not doing anything. But
Yeah.
there's a difference in terms of your stars, your Jags, your special teams guys that are just trying
Mm-hmm.
to go out there and just have a competitive fight. And Jacoby Brissett is doing the best he can, but there's a reason why he's a backup. Like
I
I
was
said,
at I was at the game Jacoby started, the first game Jacoby started this year, and he came out and he was and I'm like, that's just what Jacoby does. He comes out and he's watching him in Indianapolis for
mm-hmm,
those couple years. I've always had respect for Jacoby Brissett, even when he was in New England after
yeah,
the whole Deflategate
right
situation,
situation.
and
Yep.
then Jimmy G went down, and then Jacoby came in there and ran the offense well, and then coming to Indianapolis, like he kept us competitive for a couple
Mm-hmm.
years, and then he's always been good, except I guess you can kind of scratch off that Cleveland year.
Yeah,
But
but
I mean, who's
did you
who is
did
good
you
in
hear what
Cleveland?
speaking of New England, did you hear what um Edelman said about Jacoby and Garoppolo? So apparently when Garoppolo got hurt, he could have came back, but there was like some minor injury. Something Garoppolo's like, no, I'm good, I'm good. Jacoby goes out there and hurts like his like another, like a calf or something a little bit more serious, and Jacoby's like, no, I'm gonna keep going. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. And like that right there almost galvanized the rest of that locker room because they're like, we see what that guy's doing. And Edelman almost insinuated that, like, yo, that we may need to get rid of this guy, and that's why Belichick shipped him off to
Yeah,
San Fran. Like it wasn't out of the goodness of his heart. It was like, hey,
yeah,
we know what this guy is and what he isn't. So,
yeah,
uh, any let's go ahead and talk about the preview for your
yeah.
squad, baby.
Uh, I think it's going to be about the same thing. You're going to see Jonathan Taylor running a lot, especially with San Francisco not having Bosa or Warner on
Mm-hmm.
that side. I think it's going to be pretty heavily on the run game.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I think we might see a little bit more downfield throws.
Ooh.
Just kind of what comments coming out of practice and everything was. Phil's like, don't think I can't do it because I can. It just
Right.
wasn't what we were trying to do.
Bingo.
So that'll be interesting coming out. Kind of like a side quest to this. I'm interested to see how Phil will take in his first actual crowd in Indianapolis since he was
Okay.
quarterback during the COVID year. So I think that'll be cool for him to finally get to see the crowd,
Yeah.
especially it being a Monday night
Yep.
game.
Mhm.
So I think that'll be pretty cool for him.
You think his
Uh,
family shows up, right? You think it's
they were there
Christmas?
last week.
Oh, okay, okay. See, that's
Well,
why
at least at,
that's why you're answering the big questions for me.
at 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 least his wife and I think his two oldest sons were
Okay,
there.
okay.
I think they were there. But yeah, I think with being Christmas, I think all probably 48 of the Rivers fans shows up. That might include the whole high school team as
All
well that he's
right.
coaching. But
Gosh.
one thing I am happy about is that DeForest Buckner will be coming back.
Uh-huh.
I think that'll really help solidify things up front, especially with McCaffrey. Uh, still missing Sauce and Ward on
Hmm.
the outside, but Pearsall's not playing this week, so I mean you still got to deal with Juwan Jennings and blanking on the Kendrick Bourne,
Yeah.
but Kittle's going to be one of their main guys too. So I mean, you can't overlook San Francisco. You can't overlook Brock Purdy because he's going
No.
to go out there and he's going to be Mr. Consistent,
Yeah.
like he always is. I know he had that bad game against Carolina
Hmm.
on that was a Monday night game, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a Monday night.
But after
But he
that,
just, but he was
he
coming
just came
off
off the
injury.
yeah
Yeah,
coming
like
off
it.
the injury, and you know, and I don't know if he felt the footsteps of Mac Jones behind him
Hmm.
too. But Purdy's always going to be a threat. Like he torched the Titans last week. He's played well. So just trying to contain him and just try. I don't want to say try to predict what Kyle Shanahan's going to do because
Hmm.
you're not going to be able to. I mean, Kyle Shanahan's one of the probably top five coaches in the NFL
It's gonna be
right
some
now.
variation of the running game with
Yeah.
McCaffrey. Like, hey, we're gonna do a lot of motions. We're gonna do some draws. Like, we're gonna get McCaffrey the football as many times
Hmm.
as we can and let Purdy cook. Almost, yeah, kind of like what I think Carolina should be doing. But sorry,
Hmm.
it always comes back to Carolina for
Yeah.
me.
I mean, when it comes to it's whenever we're kind of talking about this, it's easy to kind of compare it. Like this is what I want to see.
Yeah.
What we should do. I I just hope that we have an answer for McCaffrey
Hmm.
because we really haven't seen because he's a guy that obviously he can do just about anything on the field
Hmm.
and without I'm not really sure I'm more worried about his running game as more of him in the passing game
Oh, okay.
because that's when he's lined up for passing game he's probably I mean tell me if I'm wrong I think he's probably their best receiver if he's lined up
Yes. Yeah.
out there
Especially
too.
now with what
Mm-hmm.
IU being
That
whatever and
wherever he is.
Pearsall's being is still hurt, right? He's Pearsall's still hurt, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he was set to come back, but then something happened. I just seen earlier this week. I think it was Friday
Okay.
that he would be inactive this game. So I mean, I expect to see a lot of nickel
Hmm.
coming out from Lou, and if that's kind of the scheme we're going to go with, I expect Kenny Moore to be kind of following him around
Right.
everywhere. And just kind of hope that, Kenny can be Kenny. Like he's
Hmm.
always been solid for us, but if you take Kenny and put him into that kind of nickel corner, that slot corner kind of situation, that opens up, things for Jennings and Bourne.
Hmm.
Bourne maybe not so much, but Juwan Jennings, he's very hit and miss. Right now, he's either going to go off for over 150 yards or he's going to have two catches for 15 yards. You never really know
Right.
what's going to happen with him. But offensively, like I said, we're going to see Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
That's what I expect. If not, if if Phil decides to come out and we're going to try to throw I wouldn't say deep balls, but more intermediate
Hmm.
kind of passing to kind of try to expose the holes in the San Francisco defense. But to be honest, from what I've seen, the holes that you're going to find are going to be minimal because Salah does, with the pieces he has, he's done a great job with. I mean, with everything he's got, and San Francisco can still play for the one seed
Yeah. Yeah. They,
in
they
the
they have that
NFC
outside
West.
path, but yeah.
Yeah, they have to do a lot, but they can still do it. I mean, my thing right now is one game at a time because like we're not out of it by any
Right.
means. Because I mean, if we win out, we're in.
This is this playoff seeding this year. I feel like there's no easy ones. Like
No, there's
even
not.
for the set, like on both sides, like San
Yeah.
Francisco still has a chance of not making the playoffs. Like, and I
Mm-hmm.
was like you guys are 8-6, and you're still having to almost win out just so you could be the seventh seed, right?
There is a path where we can win two and still get in, but you would really like to see, take care of business, win these last three games, go at 11-6, and it's basically take care of your own business. You go out
Right.
there, take care of your own business.
You're in.
Don't
Yeah.
worry about what anybody else is doing, and you're going to be fine. I
Hmm.
mean, that's been the case for heck since coming off the bye against when we came into Kansas City,
Uh-huh.
and should have won that game too. But that's in the past. I can't change anything about that, no matter how much I want to.
Right.
But
Right.
like I was telling my brother today, I said if Tennessee wins this game today against Kansas City, it's gonna hurt me inside to know that the Colts are the only team that in the AFC South that didn't beat Kansas City this year.
That's true.
Hmm.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. You're
Yeah,
right.
and what did Tennessee do? Granted, I said Tennessee beat their C team basically, but if you look on paper, it says the Tennessee
The
Titans beat the
Titans,
Kansas
Dead
City
Sea
Chiefs
Chiefs.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I still have hope. Like it
Mhm.
anything can happen, and I think Steichen and Lou know what they're gonna do.
Right.
I just hope Steichen sticks to it and doesn't kind of wander away. But like we kind of talked about last week, you can only do so much with a 44-year-old
Hmm.
under center.
Hmm.
Like it's gonna be a heavy run,
Who
and I
is
think you're
never,
gonna
who is never like the Michael Vick of athleticism, where it's just, oh my
no
gosh, his athletic traits are just off the charts. Like
no
that
even
was.
even in Phil's prime of his career, he even said I've never ran away from anybody anyway. Why would I
Mhm.
start now?
Right.
It's like, but kind of just the deep dives into the Colts offense, what I've been doing here the last couple of weeks. Just this season, it's been so when we were clicking, it was RPO play action bootleg because
Hmm.
Jones was getting selling the bootleg, going out, and defense has got to worry. Okay, is he gonna hand it off to JT? Is he gonna take it himself? Or there's Tyler Warren running just a simple wheel route out route to the sideline, or he's just going to dump it off and Warren's going to run for 15, 20 yards up the field.
Hmm.
You take that away. That's why I kind of think Riley Leonard could have maybe succeeded a little bit more just
Hmm.
because it's just the mobility
So
factor.
yeah, so just back to that question, was it the system or is like what? Because if I'm Riley Leonard, I'm upset. Like,
Yeah,
no
that's
offense to
kind
Phil,
of
but I'm like, I'm upset. Like,
yeah,
you're
that's
telling me.
that's and like even like Steichen came out right after Sunday on Monday and goes, Philip Rivers will be starting on Monday night. It's like, okay, is this PCL thing with Riley Leonard that
Right.
bad? And then he comes out on Tuesday or whenever the injury report started coming out. He's like, oh no, Riley Leonard's fine. Like he's cleared to do everything. It's like, okay, I res- I in a way, I respect the
I
move and
I
everything. But
I'm
like you
just
said, if I'm Riley Leonard, it's like, man, what did I do? Because like I came into
right.
Jacksonville and didn't play bad at
Yeah.
all, and
Is it because of your system, coach? Like, I don't
it
know your system well enough, which also,
yeah,
like, again, as a coach, sometimes it's throw the system away and just do what your guys can do.
just play, yeah,
Especially in
and
the
I know,
NFL, like most teams run a variation of everyone else's play.
yeah,
Like, no one's like, I run the spread, but you run the triple option. Like, that's not happening. Like,
yeah, and I don't think Steichen. I really don't think Steichen is a my way or the highway
right.
kind of guy because I just don't see his personality being like that, to be honest. But you know what? Like I said, I don't know what's happening
Yeah,
over in the
that's
locker room. It could be that way, but
mhm.
it just kind of makes you think like what what's against Riley Leonard, and then you know Anthony Richardson, the 21 day practice window being open. I There was rumblings coming out at the end of last week that it was going to happen this week
Mhm.
of that being open. I had no expectations of him playing
Mhm.
this week. Now, next week, that's a different story.
Right.
If if Phil goes out and just put this out in the universe, we win this game.
Mhm.
Okay, we won with Phil Rivers, but let's kind of look on how we won. Like,
Mhm.
did we win because we were able to move the ball downfield, or did we win because we got a slight lead early, like we did in Seattle, and we just kind of approached things a little bit different? We dialed back the pass a little bit. We tried a couple different run plays, whether it's
Mhm.
option or just simply just holding on to the ball longer, and we won by 3.
Right.
Or did we win by 10, pushing the ball down the field? I
Mhm.
think that comes into consideration because if that's the fact, you're looking at the Jaguars next week, who are playing their best football right now,
Mhm.
who I think honestly, and do they still lead the league in takeaways? I know they're up there.
Let me do a quick.
Or no, I think the Bears are leading the league in takeaways. But point being aside, that the Jacksonville's defense still flies around, and they're going to be good, and that probably will be a t-shirt and hat game for them. Like if they win, the division's in their hands, so they're not going to be resting anybody out there. They're going to be playing their full, or
Mhm.
playing their backups. Sorry, they're going to be going out there guns blazing. We're coming here to Indianapolis to try to clinch the division in your house. So if that's the case, and if they're going to be coming at you from all different angles,
Mhm.
it's kind of like I wrote in my last article. It's like if you play AR in these, he's not playing. Take Monday off. If you play AR against Jacksonville and you play him against Houston, and he has success and he wins those last 2 games going into the play, he gets you into the playoffs. That confidence that everybody kind of sees, that thinks that's so low, that confidence shoots through the
Through the
roof.
roof. Yeah.
Even if he doesn't win a playoff game, like
It's
if he wins, gets him into the playoffs, and then
mhm.
loses the first playoff game, it's like, okay, we played a team that's probably better than us
Mhm.
right now. Some things didn't go our way. Okay, that's fine, but I know I can get us there. Like I came in when it was crunch time. Like we had to play almost
Right.
perfect, and I got us there. I know I can do this. Can I do it over a 17 game season?
Mhm.
Who knows? But whenever I seen the news that he was, kind of made available, looking at his first few games as a rookie in that 2023 season, it's like it's almost like what could have been, because he came out of the gates firing in
Mhm.
2023. Like it was awesome.
Yeah, no,
It was awesome to
it felt
see.
like every week he was making two highlight plays where you're like, oh my goodness.
He was throwing Aaron Donald off of his back and throwing the ball 35 yards downfield. I
And
I
he's
go back and look at that. It's like that should be our guy
right.
right
And
there. But
because he's
then,
only 24, right?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's his third year in the league, and I think there probably will be rookies coming in next year that'll be older than him.
I can see, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh man.
it's strange, and I put out a, start put out another article today. I don't know if it's out yet, about a possible option.
It is. It is. I was gonna. That was my
Oh,
next
it is
question.
out.
Yeah. Do you want me to ask it, or is that
Yeah,
a is that
if
a
it's out,
tease? Is that a
if
tease for
it's out,
next episode?
if it's out, we can talk about it.
Okay, hold on. Let me double check. Let me double check. Uh, yes, yes, it is. Former third round quarterback who could be Colts option for 2026. I will link the article will be linked in the bottom of this video for the description, by the way. So if you want to take a look at it, absolutely. So, you know, it's crazy. I thought the same thing. I didn't say anything in the group
Mm-hmm.
chat, but I was like,
Watch it.
he's the guy who I wanted the Panthers to draft in the second round and just sit him, let him
Mm-hmm.
develop and just sit him. But obviously they didn't. So
And like watching him come into the game last night against the Bears, I was like, Malik Willis is gonna get a shot somewhere.
oh
Didn't
yeah.
think anything of it last night. Then I'm scrolling through X today and seeing somebody quote tweet like one of the highlights
Mm-hmm.
said, "Free agent in March
Mm-hmm.
would do this 1,000%." And then
Mm-hmm.
that's when the wheels started turning. It's like, well, let's take kind of a deep
Because
dive.
I'm not even because even I wouldn't even. It's not even about him winning. It's just the fact that he looked like a functional
Yeah,
quarterback, and he didn't get the ball until the overtime, and he got rocked right beforehand. Like that game was on Lafleur, and
yeah,
that's not on. That's not on Willis.
no, no, and like looking at his stats, it's like, I mean, you expect that from a backup, but it's like he started 2 games for the Packers last year, beat the Colts,
Mm-hmm.
and and then I don't know who he beat week 3, but he's 2-0 as a starter.
Mm-hmm.
But he's his stats for a backup. It's when he gets his chance, he's
Mm-hmm.
playing well.
Yeah,
And then like with kind of like I
and
mentioned,
did you notice on the broadcast Brady kept mentioning his mechanics and kept
mm-hmm,
mentioning his arm strength? And I know, and
mm-hmm,
obviously Brady doesn't have to do that, but he's
no,
right. Like I was like, that was the thing out of Liberty when he was coming out. When I was like, okay, if you could just sit him for a full year, like he has a strong arm and he has good fundamentals. He just probably just needs to learn how to play like NFL football. And it's amazing what a coach can do if you just let a guy learn and sit, because he's going to get a payday. Somebody is going to pay him.
and it's
Somebody,
gonna be cheap.
and
It's
it's going
gonna
to be
be
cheap.
cheap.
Yeah, like
It, it,
I would say a 3 year at most, 3 year 30 million with an incentive or a team option or whatever. Like, hey, we're taking a flyer. You give an opportunity to compete, almost like a. Remember Matt Flynn when before
mm-hmm,
that year Russell Wilson got drafted? They're like, hey,
yeah,
bring this in, but we're bringing this rookie that you'll get an opportunity, and the rookie, and obviously Wilson beats him out. But I can see a deal like that where,
yeah,
hey, here's your chance to shine in our
yeah.
offense.
And I see we're running low on time here, but
Mm-hmm.
isn't it funny how we're talking about strong arm, dual
Mm-hmm.
threat, can do just about anything, just needed to sit and learn. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
and that's what like I even said that at the end of the article. It's like
oh,
him and Anthony Richardson can be compared to, like, it's spot on.
yeah,
I said I think where Malik Willis beats AR out is up here,
upstairs. Yep.
because even like in his draft profile, it was being able to do stuff pre-snap. That
Uh-huh.
was his upside. So,
Right.
but other than that, that's really about all I got.
Hey man, I feel you, bro. We'll quickly do another episode tomorrow after the Colts Niners game. Get your thoughts and your opinions about everything that went down. Um, dude, it's fun doing this with you. I hope you have
Yeah,
I hope you're having fun just like I am.
yes, I am. And then I'd be having a little bit more fun if we would have just clinched a playoff spot already. But that's cool.
Say,
That's
hey,
Colts football.
bro, same here. Imagine, yeah, we already know we should have beat the
Yeah,
Saints, and if we beat and if we beat the Bucks today, I'm over here dancing and finger
yeah,
pointing, and today now I'm just like, it's one game at a time. We have the Seahawks, and then we play the Bucks. We just need to play one game at a time.
yeah.
Oh, all right, man. I'll let you go, but bro, you have a wonderful evening. Take care.
You as well. See ya.
See ya.